In this video, I'm going to talk to you about my top email marketing strategies for beginners. So if you're looking to increase your conversion rates, your open rates, your click-throughs, the ROI from your email marketing platform, either for your business, which we'll talk about, or for your customer's business, check out the rest of this video where I'm going to talk about my top email marketing strategies that I've learned through personal experience, not just theory. Let's get into it. Hey there funnel builders, Mike Killen here from Sell Your Service. Thanks very much for joining me. I give funnel builders like you the confidence to create multiple scalable income streams, which frees you from the crushing constraints of kind of an outdated traditional marketing agency model. If you're not subscribed, make sure to hit the subscribe button to be notified when I produce new videos. I've also got our funnel business focus assessment. Get your free personalized report on what to focus on within your funnel business. Just head over to sellyourservice.co.uk/focus. All right, enough bullshit. Let's talk about email marketing. I actually hear from a lot of people that email marketing doesn't work and that they don't get the results from it that they wish they could, or that everything should be poured into social or SEO. And like most things, I believe it's actually a balance across different platforms. But email for me has proved the most repeatable and highest ROI for all of our channels, to the point where if I had a gun to my head, gun to my balls, and someone said, you've got to either get rid of your website, your entire website, all your funnels, all your landing pages, or your CRM, your database, which I use ActiveCampaign, I would rather get rid of the website before I get rid of the data. That's how valuable I see my email lists as and my email subscribers as. Usually the reason that email marketing doesn't work for a lot of businesses is because they're making some really big fundamental mistakes and they're making some really big assumptions. They treat email in the same way that they treat social, which is really funny to me because email's been around a lot longer than social, but because I think the impact that social's had has been so massive over a short period of time, they assume that the same tactics they use on social media are the ones they need to use inside email marketing, and it just doesn't work. It's also important to note that these strategies work on small lists and large lists. There is a massive misconception that email marketing only works when you've got 10,000 people on your list, or even 1,000 people. I remember trying to get to my first 1,000 was like climbing uphill, and I thought, well, as soon as I got 1,000 email subscribers, the rest will be breezy. We're now pushing 10,000, and I can assure you the tactics that I use now are just as valuable as they were back then as when they are now, if not more valuable back then, because I had to make my email list work harder. But in a funny way, a smaller list, you're more intimate with them. So one of the big mistakes is that people think, well, I won't get started with this particular strategy, or I won't get started with email marketing until I've got really good and I've got a really big list. But I would argue you need to start using it now when you've got a tiny list, even if it's only 10 people, because you want to be bad now and you want to start testing the water now when you've got a really small list before you go into a really massive list. So here are my top email marketing strategies. The first thing I'm going to say, and this is the first thing I've learned, is set a regular time and day of the week to send emails. Now, in an ideal world, we would send one email a day, if not more than that. You need to first of all set a regular time and day to start sending emails. What's the best time and day to start sending them? I can't tell you that. You can't tell yourself that. The only people who can tell you that is your email list. So start at a time where you think, because I see tons of like bullshit data on the internet being like, oh, 3 p.m. is the best time to send it because people are getting back from their afternoon coffee. 8 a.m. is the best time to send it. 6 p.m. is the best time to send it. The only way that I have learned when the best time and day is to send my email list, and for me personally, it's after 6 p.m. Our open rates are higher, our click rates are higher. That's just what I found. Is because I have sent an email every single day for the past 2 years or something like that. I've got a video in the corner above where I talk about how many emails is too many to send, but I would recommend from the get-go choosing one day and one time to consistently send your emails. First of all, it's going to start training your audience on when you send your emails, and they'll start to look for them either in the afternoon or the morning or whenever it is, and you start to kind of warm them up to being that a regular occurrence, a bit like a TV show. Also, I have found that it helps with spam filters to send at a regular, consistent time. Gmail or Outlook or whoever seem to think that it's less likely to be spam if it's sent at regular times. If it's sent at sensible times and regular times, they think, well, this is a normal email that comes through, so we're more likely to let this through our spam filters. So the first thing I want to say is set a regular time and day to send emails, and the best way to find that out is to, of course, test it, is to send a bunch of emails for a month in a row, just on Mondays, just on Tuesdays, just on Wednesdays, and continually test that. But eventually you want to settle on a particular time or a particular date that you send emails. So ideally you're sending at least one a week, if not one a day, but I want you to think about the individual times that you're sending emails and the days and have that set. Strategy number 2 is treating email like you would when you email one person. The beautiful thing about email, I find, is that although I'm sending it out to a bulk load of people, 10 people, 40 people, 100 people, 1,000 people, 10,000 people, whatever, the way that email works is that it's very personal. So if I was emailing my colleagues like Sarah or Christina, who I'm constantly emailing, or like Cam or Jeff or someone, I treat the email like a request one-on-one. So my second tactic or my second strategy for email is to use outreach emails asking for help. Some people call these outreach emails, some people call them shot across the bow. I call them things like I need your help emails.
We are not doing get help.
It's a really good way of beginning to interact with your list. If you've got a dead list or a list that you've been collecting over a long period of time, but you haven't really consistently or frequently emailed them, emailing them out and saying, hey, I need your help. We're going to be putting together some content, or I'm going to be putting together a product, or what is your biggest thing you're struggling with right now? What's your goal over the next 30 days? What are you worried about? Asking that kind of feedback from your audience, from your list, is a really powerful way of getting them to interact with you. First of all, you'll get really high response rates. Sometimes I have an email that goes out that says, hey, what are you working on? Like, what's the biggest thing I can help you with in your business? And I probably send them once every couple of weeks. It gives me a ton of ideas. You'll find that some people will come back with, I need more leads, like a really short, succinct one. Other people will come back with like a diatribe, like a full long list, and it's great. This is all feedback. It also shows that if someone's replying to your emails, again, that's really good for your spam and your deliverability rates, because it's no longer considered like just outbound pushing it out. This is a two-way dialogue. So use emails as an outreach process, asking for help, asking for content ideas, asking can you help them. Treat it like that one-on-one dialogue, as if you had a friend or a really good relationship with a customer, and say to them, hey man, what is it you're working on over the next kind of 30 days, 60 days, 90 days? What are you stressed about? What do you need help with? Strategy number 3, and this one really took me by surprise, is strip out all of the HTML and design. I have an extremely simplistic email, which is basically just one singular column with the content and the text written in it. It's really funny because when I started doing email marketing for customers, they would send me over work from designers with HTML and headers and images and even GIFs and rotating stuff, and I wasn't really working with e-commerce businesses, which that can kind of work with quite well, but a lot of the businesses I was working with were consultants or coaches or strategists. And as soon as we started stripping out the HTML, we saw our deliverability rates go up, we saw our open rates go up, we saw our click rates go up, we saw the ROI go up. I think it's for a few reasons. First of all, distraction or confusion means you lose. If you confuse, you lose, right? And if you've got too much stuff going on in the email, I think people lose interest and they kind of go, I'm not really sure that this is for me. I'm not really interested. I'm just going to kind of back off. There's way too much coming at me here. What I found hysterical ages ago is I wrote some emails for a customer, and they said, can we put some images in so it's not so boring? And I was like, we've got books and books and books, millions of books published, thousands of books published a year, and they just have text in them. They might have the occasional diagram in them, but a lot of these ones, the best sellers, are just written copy. If the copy isn't interesting enough for people to just read it, spicing it up and pimping it up, I think is trying to polish a turd, basically. If the content sucks, the content sucks. Adding HTML and over designing it does not mean that it's going to be more read or more interacted with. I would focus on the copy and the content. Strip out all of the design, strip out the HTML, keep it to a singular column. Some of the biggest marketers in the world, Frank Kern, Grant Cardone, they have resorted to not even having HTML emails, just have it as a long form email written as if you would open it up inside Outlook or Gmail so it spreads across the entire screen. While I don't entirely agree with that side, enough HTML and enough design is what needs to be there to get the job done. It's a bit like they say, you know, a masterpiece is not when can you stop adding things, it's when can you stop taking away things. And I found that as soon as we stripped headers and footers and all the complex shit and the design work and overcomplicating it and just making it beautiful for the sake of it and focused on the copy and the content, everything in our ROI with our emails started to go up. So really quickly, point number 4 is I don't want you to worry about the tool. I see this time and time again, businesses asking me, well, if I want to do email marketing, what's the best platform to use? What's the best tool to use? I personally use ActiveCampaign. It's funny because I'm wearing a MailChimp t-shirt right now. I use ActiveCampaign. I've used ActiveCampaign for a long time. The right tool is the one that you can afford. A bit like camera equipment, buying the best tool or camera or equipment or gear in the world is not going to make you better at filming or photography. Just like having the best tool is not going to make you better at email marketing. Just choose any platform, get using it, find out the things you hate about it, and then move on. One of the biggest mistakes I think people make is they try to find the best email platform, and some people will say, well, ActiveCampaign has terrible deliverability or MailChimp has terrible automation. They all pretty much do much of the same thing. Some of them rely or lean towards different aspects. Yes, Infusionsoft tends to be for much larger businesses. Marketo, even though I loathe it, is one of the best-selling CRM and email platforms on the planet, typically for enterprise-sized businesses. But don't worry too much about the platform. Drip, GetResponse, ActiveCampaign, they all do much of the same thing and they all do it pretty well. But the practice comes from writing emails, regularly sending them and measuring those results rather than choosing the best tool. Liv sees it all the time with running. People say, I want to get into running, I want to run a half marathon or do my first 10K or something like that. They go out, they buy all the expensive trainers, they join an expensive gym, they start eating all that nutritional supplement shit. And she's like, first of all, you need to just get good at really basic running, then we'll start looking at what the best tool is. So point number 4 is don't worry about the tool yet. Get good with what you can afford, get good with something, and then move on afterwards. Don't treat choosing a tool as a way of procrastinating, which is what a lot of businesses do. Point number 5, and this is something a lot of businesses shy away from, is make it personal. Make sure that your name is in the email, or if you're of course sending this on behalf of customers, you're doing work for customers, send it on behalf of them. Make sure that it's clear that a human being and a person is writing and sending this email. Use your image in your gravatar or your icon or your profile. Use an image in the footer if you can of yourself and your face. Make sure it's from, you know, Michael at Sell Your Service, Mike at Sell Your Service. Say it's your name. Even in the subject line, sometimes it helps to say, hey, it's me, Mike. A lot of corporate businesses shy away from this. There's a ton of reasons why. Typically it's because no one's really got the balls to put themselves out there. Although good salespeople know that sales are made when the one-on-one relationship blooms and grows out of that particular email. I know that a lot of my guys, and you guys probably watching this, read and open my emails because it's from me. If it's just from Sell Your Service as a nameless, faceless brand or organization, it's not going to have the same impact. People don't have strong relationships with the companies anymore. They have strong relationships with the people that run them. So they want to get to know you. They want to get to know who's sending them their emails. Even if you have someone dedicated who's sending that email, make sure that that person becomes known within that community. So make sure that you're using a name and a face. Make it personal. Make sure that people know who you are and who is sending them their emails. Strategy number 6 for email marketing. Use emails as a way of testing content and headlines. One of my favorite methods for coming up with new titles for blog posts or books or webinars or YouTube content or anything like this is using my email list as a method of testing it. I will take the subject lines as a way of saying, well, if more people click on that and open that, it means that that is a more interesting headline. So I'll take a look at the different types of content that I want to put out and I'll use email as a way of testing it. I've also done that with initial first drafts of blog posts, of books, real rough and ready content. I've just put it together, sent it out there, and yes, sometimes it completely falls flat on its face. Other times it's come back and people are like, this is really interesting. If anything, I want to know more, and I felt the email could have had a call to action with it. So use emails as a method of testing your content ideas and your headlines. Split testing as well is a great method for doing that really easily. If you've got at least 1,000 people on your list, just send 500 to one and 500 to another, a particular headline, and then say, well, loads of people love that. That should be the topic of our next book or our next blog post, or it should be our headline, or it should be the title of a product. Use your email, or use email as a way of testing content and content ideas and headlines from your list. One of the things you have to understand is that marketing doesn't have an opinion. Some people say, I think this headline's better, I think this headline's better. That doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is your audience's interaction with it. So if they are interacting and clicking on it, that is proof. You don't get to have an opinion on what works with marketing. And we've had some really interesting, shocking results, a bit like, using strategy number 2, using outreach emails, asking for help. Getting interaction and feedback from your audience, even without them knowing, is going to give you massive direction and purpose within your business for all those different content ideas that you've got coming up later. I just wanted to let you know about Apex Campaigns before we do the last few email strategies. Apex Campaigns is my entire process for converting customers into high-paying consulting customers. It's my process for selling marketing funnels. It's my process for getting paid to consult and even qualify customers and run product creation workshops, as well as find out exactly what the best and most powerful marketing tactics are for that particular customer. Customers might not know it, but actually sometimes they're setting you up to fail, and Apex Campaigns is my way of taking that failure and turning it around using a really simple formula. Head to sellyourservice.co.uk/Apex to see how I identify profitable customers, profitable opportunities, and great product ideas, and build killer marketing campaigns, and of course get paid a decent fee for it. So head over to sellyourservice.co.uk/Apex. Let's get back to the last 2 strategies. So my last 2 strategies for email marketing for beginners is republish long form email content as blog content. So previously I mentioned how using email is a really good way of testing content. If I write a long form blog post, anything over sort of 5,000, 10,000 words, I might send that as an email. I might split it up and send it as an email. I might send an entire chapter of a book in an email. It's a really good way of testing long form content and content in general. However, sometimes I will write directly in my email. I won't overthink it. I won't think, well, I've got to do an email marketing strategy, or I've got to do a webinar sign up or a follow up. I'll just think, you know what, I want to talk to my audience, talk to them like they're real people, find out what they're thinking, and just have a conversation with them. And I'll write directly in the email and I'll send it to them. I'll say, hey, it's kind of a rant, however, I just wanted to talk about, and if you are subscribed to my newsletter, you'll know what I mean. I send maybe one of these a week. Anything that seems worthwhile or seems to work or resonate or get responses, or a particularly high open rate or read rate or click-through rate or reply rate, is often really good. I will repurpose that as blog content. Very typically my process is, I'll think, well, I want to start talking about email marketing strategies, filming YouTube videos, how to sell landing pages, how to turn objections, whatever the topic might be. I'll write it directly into the email. I'll send it to my list. I'll send it to my entire list or a segment of my list. And if people resonate with it, I'll think there's evidently something here. Let's repurpose this and turn it into blog content. So I really like to start with the email, use that, get some feedback from it, and then post it as a blog post. A lot of the platforms like ActiveCampaign even allow you to publish your archive, so people can go into it and just click on like a little archive button and read through all of your previous emails. It's a very powerful way of building up a content library and seeing what works with your audience. Last strategy, reuse emails that work in your automation. I cannot emphasize this enough. It blows my mind how many people overcomplicate this. If you are sending individual emails that work to your list, and you know they get a click-through rate, you know that people open them, you know that people read them. If you send a sales promotion email or a sign-up email and people click on it and they use it, you need to start automating that email. You need to start putting that in an email that a week after someone joins, a month after someone joins, a year after someone joins. you send that to them on automation because you know it's worked in the past. One of my favorite ways of running launches is to write 13 launch campaign emails. If we're launching a new product for a customer or for ourselves, we send those emails typically over a period of a couple of weeks. We take the ones that work, and we'll take about 6 of them and then turn that into a mini sales automation campaign. And we'll say to ActiveCampaign or the automation process, hey, we know that these emails work. Let's copy them over, put them in the automation platform. A month after someone signed up, start sending them these emails. And it's a way of us testing what works. And occasionally, yes, I have sent an entire campaign that's fallen flat on its face. I've seen hardly any opens. I've seen hardly any clicks. I've seen 0 sales from entire campaigns, which can be very heartbreaking at the time. But taking what works means that I am now creating multiple streams of income, because the products that I've pushed out there, I now don't have to think, well, I now have to start selling that product and I now have to start selling that product. And I've taken my one-off campaigns, I've taken the best parts of them and I've automated it to say that, well, after someone's been on the list for 3 months or whatever, start sending them this sales campaign. So start reusing emails that you've sent as a one-off. And that's not just for sales campaigns either. If you've promoted a blog post, if you've sent an email that works really, really well, the shot across the bow emails, I need some help, they're really good at what to send on automation as well. Take the emails that have the highest interaction rate and start using those within your automation, and take some pressure off having to send emails every single day by getting the automation platform to do it for you. So those are my top email marketing strategies for beginners, either for your business or if you're doing it for customers. Start practicing now. It doesn't matter how big your list is. They don't know that there are only 10 people on their list. They don't know that there's only 9 other people on that list. They don't care. They have an interaction with you. That's what they're there for. Strip out the HTML and focus on the content and copy. Reuse content and copy that works, and start testing content ideas through your email channel. It's a beautiful platform for doing that. Don't worry about the tools, just buy what you can afford right now. Start getting used to sending emails and then finding out different tools for doing different things if you want to switch over it. Be personal and show who you are. Use your name, use your face. People want you in their inbox, and we have found that helps with deliverability rates as well. And reuse what works. I cannot emphasize that enough. If you have a one-off campaign that has worked, go out there, take those emails, copy them, put them into automation. Was this useful? Are you an email marketer? Which is your favorite email marketing strategy? Let me know in the comments below. Did I miss anything that you use? Is there a strategy that you absolutely love or that someone else has taught you about, another YouTuber? Let me know in the comments. Remember, if you're not subscribed, hit that subscription button and the little bell icon to get notified of when I publish a new video. Leave me a like as well. It really helps me out, lets me know that the video is useful and the channel's doing well. And if you could leave me a comment as well and share it, that always helps. If you just click the little share button, post it to LinkedIn, post it to your YouTube channel, post it to Facebook, wherever, massively helps me out. And you could help out other businesses who are looking to learn email marketing strategies. I help funnel builders like you, and I give you guys hopefully the confidence to create multiple income streams to free you from the crushing constraints of the traditional outdated agency model. Thank you so much for watching. See you on the next video. Have courage, commit, and take action.